All right. That's what I like to hear. You guys think this is funny, don't you? Well, thank you for coming out tonight. Well, as you know, my name is Prince Charming, and tonight I'm going to get into some comedy for you guys about fairy tales. You guys up for that?
Yeah!
All right, awesome. So, first off, I'd like to say that I'm a huge fan of a lot of fairy tales, including Cinderella, Shrek, Sleeping Beauty, and so many others, and you're probably familiar with seeing me in a lot of fairy tales. So, I'd like to learn what your favorite fairy tale is. So, raise your hand if you like Cinderella. All right, that's a good one. So here's a joke for you guys. Why did Cinderella get kicked off the baseball team? You want to know?
Yes.
Okay, well, it is because she always ran away from the ball. There's another joke for you guys. So, this might be in the modern day, but there was one time Cinderella and I went to stay at a hotel, and they had a waterbed there. And Cinderella called it the Dead Sea. Interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, now let me get into a real story, a real fairy tale about what happened with Cinderella one time. So, once upon a time I was going to a ball with Cinderella. Cinderella was my date for the ball. So, that night, right before the ball, I asked Cinderella out to the ball, and she said yes and was looking forward to it. But beforehand, just a few days before the ball, Cinderella did not have a good dress for the ball. She couldn't afford a good one, so we had to figure something out. So Cinderella called up her fairy godmother and asked her to give her, make her a good dress. So the fairy godmother, on the night of the dance, turned a bad outfit into a good dress. And you turned the mice into horses and the pumpkin into a carriage. So that night the fairy godmother told Cinderella to be home before the clock strikes midnight, otherwise it'll be an awkward situation if she gets home after midnight. So I was at the dance and I had a good time. I met Cinderella there, we danced and we had a good time, but at one point of the night we got separated. I don't know why that happened, but we got separated and I found a glass slipper on the floor, so I did not know who it belonged to. So I called down a few princesses, a few people. So first I had Princess Fiona come down. I'm like, does this glass slipper fit you? Please try it on. She was right by my carriage, so she tried it on, but it was too small on her. I'm like, nope, you're not the one. Out of my carriage. So at first I thought Cinderella might not have been my date, or was the wrong date. So then the second time... So the second princess I called down was Snow White, and Snow White tried on the glass slipper, but it was too big on her. I'm like, nope, you're not the one, out of my carriage. So then, Cinderella was the third one to come down, so when Cinderella came down, she tried it on, it fit. I'm like, whoa, it fits, and it is you. So we continued to dance the night away, but when it was getting close to midnight, I told Cinderella, oh no, it's close to midnight, we need to get the out of here. And she's like, what are you talking about? And like, don't you remember? And Cinderella didn't remember at first because she was having a wonderful time, a awesome time at that dance. So it was right before midnight. I'm like, we need to get the out of here now. So we left, and I explained later what happened when we got home that night. We got at home, we sat at our house, and I explained the situation, and we stayed, and then that night we just had a good night. We did other things when the magical was done. And so Donkey came along for a little bit, my friend Donkey. So instead of being out late at the dance, we then had some fun, stayed up late, swapped manly stories, and we played some video games, and then we went to bed, and the next morning Donkey and I made waffles. So that was pretty much how we spent the night and had a good time at the dance, but had a continued fun the next day. So that was pretty much how we did it, and we all lived happily ever after. The end. Thank you for watching tonight, and you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you!
Yeah, one more time for Prince Charming!